This will be like one of those React videos. I know people love like isn't reacting to other people's like YouTube content, isn't that like the pinnacle of like Twitch streaming now? Like, I'm trying to learn from all the great streamers that I know. Like, apparently what I need to do, like, you know, XQC or whatever, I just need to watch YouTube videos and go, what? For real? What? That's crazy, man. And then I just get a clip on, like, live stream fail. Because, like, I have a dedicated Discord that just fucking take the clip, upload it, and then they spam in the Discord, quick, give it up votes, and then other like normal people stumble across like live stream fail. Why is that a clip? It's like literally like that's crazy, man. Like XQC with crazy reaction to crazy video. That's crazy, man. That's the whole clip, you know. So, but here's something I'm very happy to react to. I'm sure some of you saw this already.
Never been in this.
So, this is a YouTuber called Simon Wilson, right? And apparently, one of the things he does, I don't know anything about this guy, so if I'm misrepresenting him, do tell me, do correct me. He basically goes around and he checks stuff out around the world, and he does all this stuff and blah, 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 and he like tries and blags his way into... you know, places he shouldn't be, or interesting places, or cool places. You know how it is, and you'll see a lot of YouTubers like this. You know, he's not like unique in that sense, but where it does become unique is it has a very interesting crossover, in the sense that he managed to blag his way into the Blast Pro Series in Moscow, right? So,
Mate,
I'll give you a
well, am I still gonna get the ad? Why? Okay.
yeah, okay, no problem.
Right, let's give this a go. I don't know what to expect.
Let's get the ad out the way,
Discover
I guess.
card? Hi, do you have a travel card? We do. The Discover It Miles card. Earn unlimited 1.5 miles.
Here.
Richard Lewis reacts to ad. That's crazy, man. Right, okay. So, basically, the Blast had an event in Moscow, right? Because we know the Blast is doing this entire global thing. It was funny for a lot of reasons. Mostly hilarious because Na'Vi didn't win a game. And it was Zeus's big send-off. Like, he was supposed to all get, like, teary-eyed, like, when they won a trophy and, like, hold it up, you know? And it was like, we're gonna miss you, Zeus. We're gonna miss you so much. Now, get the fuck out, actually. Actually, you're fucking trash. Get out. You couldn't even win a game with the best player, like, two of the best players, and probably two of the best players, like, in the top 6 players in the world, and you couldn't win a single game on home soil. Fuck you. Don't put up with it, CIS. You're better than that. Your region is brimming with fucking talent, and you have held on to these dinosaurs for too fucking long. Get them out. Don't even be sad that they're going, right? But anyway... So this guy went to, you know, he goes all around Russia, and you can hear he's a British dude, and he just literally, which by the way is a word that I'm told I overuse. I have it on good authority. I say the word literally way too much. At least I use it correctly though, because they are trying to put it in the dictionary now, and there was an argument actually made in a lawsuit I saw where Rachel Maddow said about somebody was literally Russian propaganda, and her defense was, we all know the word literally means figuratively. It's like, no, America, no, enough's enough. Enough's enough, America. It's got to stop now. Sick of your fucking ways being the way we do things everywhere else. We got to stand firm on fucking literally. Literally has to mean literally. I might overuse it, but it means literally, not figurative. It doesn't mean the opposite of what it means. Just because Rachel Maddow says so. So he literally was able to walk into the Blast as if it was nothing. I'm serious. Like, the closest it comes to a security check is to tell him which doorway to walk through.
English?
English.
Good. I work here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Fine.
Thanks very much.
I mean, fair enough, right? That's one door. That's one door. He's Jedi. Listen, Jedi. Jedi are good these days, mate. Jedi are good these days. They don't even have to wave their hand anymore. They I work here. Yes, you work here. Yes. Like Jedi are fucking sick these days, dude. And listen, as somebody like who works as a journalist, there's situations where you have to blag a little bit. And, you know, I consider myself pretty good at it. So I can respect the craft here. If you say something authoritatively and with confidence, it's human nature a lot of the time to not challenge you. But I don't expect that from security guards. I don't expect it from security whose entire job is to challenge you. You know, people on the street, people in your housing block or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, fair enough. But, yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, but anyway, that's just one door. That's one door. Nothing.
Very much. Hi, how are you? You okay? Good. Hi, how are you? Can I just walk through?
Oh. Yes.
Go around there?
Yeah. That's more.
Ah, okay. So I put my bag here, yeah?
No.
Back to this.
Oh, bag through that over there. Okay, cool. Thank you.
And I don't know if he's deliberately using this technique, but this is something that you guys might want to think about if you want to be like a fucking con artist or whatever at some point. One of the things that you can do in situations like that, okay, it's worth sometimes getting a small minor point deliberately wrong. There's a lot of psychology that goes on into stuff like this, but I'll explain it to you. So what you do is you ask a very basic, generic question like, do I come through this door? And the obvious answer is no, he doesn't come through that door. It might be clearly labeled. He says, do I come through this door? I put my bag here. And what happens is, first of all, by asking the question, you're giving them the illusion of compliance, that you will comply with their instructions, which in their mind reduces you as being a threat. So they stop thinking about you as being somebody that's potentially trying to do something nefarious or untoward. The other thing it does, and this is the bigger part of it psychologically, it blocks the thought process of, should I check this guy's ID? Should I check if he's here? Should I be asking questions? Because they become preoccupied with answering the more immediate question, which is a silly throwaway question that you know the answer to, and one that will have absolutely zero consequences on whether or not you gain access to the building. But by putting it in there, you basically block their, you know, thought process, so that they stop asking the right relevant questions they should be asking, and they get hung up on solving the little one that's in front of them. So this is I don't know if he's doing it deliberately or if that was just a coincidence, but again, if you look into con artistry and stuff like that, it's a psychological technique that's well documented. You give the illusion of compliance, and you also stop the authority figure thinking about the bigger question, which is who you are. Should you be here? What are you actually doing? It's textbook. This is like, again, if it's deliberate, it's really clever. If it's coincidental, it's really fortunate.
Hi, how are you? You okay? Ah, this way, yeah? Okay, cool. All the metal things? Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you.
And you see, by that point, I mean, and it's another good thing as well psychologically to be greeting everyone, because you're not looking. You know, you're not avoiding eye contact, which is all of these people have been trained that people who don't belong somewhere are going to be shifty, try and keep a low profile, not directly interact with anyone. By doing the immediate opposite and being that bombastic about it, it gives the illusion that you belong. Gives also as well, nobody on a psychological basis ever wants to say they don't remember you. I'm sure we've all had this situation come up. It happens to me a lot at LAN events. When I go to them, or business meetings, people come up and go, "Hey, Richard, how you doing?" And I do not know who the fuck they are. I can't remember. Did I meet them at a fucking party? Was I drunk? Who are they? And I go along with it. I immediately go along with it and go, "Yeah, it's great to see you again." how's that fucking thing? What was it we were talking? And then, you know, you create like an open, like, oh, you're just having a temporary brain fart, and then they jump in because they want to tell you all about their shit, and then that gives you enough clues to remember or blunder your way through. Nobody likes to say, I don't remember you. Nobody ever wants to say that. So by coming in and going, hey, how you doing? You all right, mate? They're immediately thinking, fuck, did I see this guy yesterday? I don't want to say that this guy could be like one of the main casters. This guy could be one of the guys who hired the venue. I don't want to say as a fucking lowly security guard, I don't remember you. I don't want to do that. So fuck it. It's not worth the hassle. So they wave back, they nod, and they treat you as if they have seen you before. And it's kind of like a tacit vouching process that goes on. So
All good? Sorry. Oh, is the camera?
Yeah.
Right, let me go back. All good? All good? Thank you very much. Cheers, thank you. Where's my bag? Cheers, thank you very much.
Have a good
Thanks.
That, quite possibly, is the easiest thing I have ever sneaked into in my life.
now that's where it gets worrying for me, because I agree, like, even with all the clever fucking psychological tactics that are being employed there, and you know, in the con artists or blaggers, or, you know, whatever you want to call them, tool set, what he's using there are very basic psychological things. Like, anybody who reads up on this stuff, anybody who even reads up on, you know, how to become more personable, how to become more confident, you'll learn tools sort of like that in just everyday interactions. You know, how to take charge, how to appear more confident, how to dominate meetings, you know, whatever those like fucking, what do they call, like, lifestyle books are. They'll give you a lot of the techniques that he was employing there. The key thing is just confidence and being authoritative. But when he says, a guy who does this for a living, essentially, for his content, when he says, that is the easiest thing I've ever snuck into, you know, what worries me is he hasn't once had to say, like, an immediate question should be, where is your identity card or identity badge, or, you know, where's your fob, or, you know, whatever it is. Somebody has to ask that question at the first point of contact before letting you in the venue. And then that's where you're going to see some advanced blagging. Oh, I left it at the hotel. Or, don't you remember you gave me a temporary pass yesterday? You know, you said you were going to sign me in temporarily. I'm written down on a list over here. So what you do is you create like a chore, a process chore that maybe one guy isn't going to know or want to get involved in. So they're going to go, all right, lad, don't do it again, because nobody wants extra work in the menial job. And chances are you aren't lying. So what's the problem, you know? So there are immediately ways you can still get out of that situation, but it should be more difficult for you. And that didn't happen there. That didn't happen at all. Nobody asked him who he was, even. You know? And that is crazy to me. That even a guy as skilled and as adept at what he's doing here, when he comes out and says, listen, that was easy as fuck. That's super worrying. So right there, that is the principal and most important security failing, because I don't want to be a negative Nancy and focus on stuff, but do understand that, you know, if this was someone with bad intentions, he's already in a position to do something really heinous. And you know, he's already gained access to the public area. So this is already bad. But if you watch on, it gets worse. It does actually get worse.
Life. Be happy, smile, confidence, and be loud. And I just walk straight through. That is sick. I'm just hoping now that I don't have any more obstacles. Well,
and true, actually, yeah, that is a good point there, Bandagey. They did x-ray his bag, and he did go through a metal detector. So I suppose that rules out certain risks, let's say. So, you know, I don't want to be too harsh. Put it this way, there's plenty of esports events that don't have metal detectors and don't do bag screenings. So, before we get melodramatic, I suppose that's a fair point, and one worth keeping, being mindful of. You know, and I don't want to get into the technicalities of things you can smuggle through metal detectors and things that wouldn't show on X-ray scans. Not really appropriate to talk about that. But there certainly are those things, but chances of somebody targeting an esports event having access to that, very, very slim. But anyway, this is the other problem. You know, it's not even just about what he could potentially be doing by not being sort of allowed to be there. Because he could just be a regular fan that just wants to smuggle in and not pay for a ticket, right? Which is fine, you know, like people try and jump fences at events and get over barriers all the time, and there's no ill intent to that beyond not wanting to pay $60 fucking or whatever to see somebody perform. But this, when he's in the venue, is fucking wild to me.
Yeah, let's try a door.
Discover. Hi, do you have a travel card?
See, because it turns into an aquarium.
1.5
That's
will match at the end of
crazy,
your first
man.
What's this one? What the hell is this? This is absolutely crazy, and I haven't got a clue what's going on. I didn't just want to settle for a seat there. I need to get somewhere better. I'm just going to have a look around and see what I can get to. I haven't got a clue where I'm going around here. Yeah, what's in here? Oh wow, it is rammed in here. Absolutely rammed. Right, let's try somewhere else. Hi, how are you? You okay? Good. Because they don't speak English, they just thumbs up and all's good. Right, I'm just going to follow these.
Можно третий или четвертый, без разницы. Третий,
Yeah,
подожди.
cool, thank you. What's this?
It's 7.
Ah, okay. Where's like the lounge?
I'm sorry?
Lounge? Are you working?
No,
you're just
we
VIP.
guest, yes.
So, okay. So I'm trying to figure out which floor is the workers' floor.
You take this bracelet, no?
No, I haven't got a bracelet, no.
Okay. You have tickets with you?
Yeah.
Where are your tickets?
Oh, can we just go through? Oh, he said it's fine. Cheers.
Right. So you can see now, right? This is where this is where it becomes inexcusable, because somebody that has gained access to the venue like that, you at least expect the checks and balances to kick in once you're in the venue, because there's usually a band system if you're a paying customer. If you're a member of talent, there is you'll have a lanyard, you'll have a pass, you'll have a fob, something like that, some form of identification that shows you should be. Well, immediately what this guy has done is, by latching on to another group of people, which, by the way, again, very smart in terms of con artistry. You know, if you can ingratiate yourself to a group of people that do have the access, and you go as a group, no, security guards are less likely to say to one person out of a group, you can't come through, you're all okay. They'll be like, all right, fuck it, he's with these other guys, so it must be okay. So not all. You'll get some that are sticklers, and rightly so. They're the good security guards. You should be a stickler. But this is where it's like, right, this could have been anywhere. This could have been the green room with the talent in. This could have been the stage. This could have been the player area. And you can see now he's just.
Okay, see you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, no problem. Cheers. Can I just go through and I'll come back to you in a minute? Okay, cool. Right, I'm in a bit of bother here. This guy's collared me.
This one guy actually does his job. If this guy isn't on the door.
Yeah. Oh, it's all kicking off. Am I okay, yeah? And I'll come in. Hi, how are you? What's the problem? So I'm working here, but I haven't got my wristband with me, but I've come all the way from the UK. The guy's obviously collared me because I've not got a wristband. So I'm just wondering if I could go through, please?
No, you should have some...
I know, the thing was, I came in this morning, and then I checked in, and then I went into Moscow, and I've come back, so...
What you want?
Just to go through, because all my crew are through here.
I don't understand what you want.
Sorry, my fault.
I don't know what you want.
I just want to go this way, because my friend's
My
are this way.
co-worker?
Yeah, over there, yeah.
Am I okay to go? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh my God.
And then it goes wrong. And then it all goes wrong. And basically what's happened there is, again, they're worried because there's an English-speaking crew that are obviously handling the part of the broadcast. That's where the money is. They don't know if this guy's a commentator. The guy on the door is trying to hold people off. There's this other situation brewing over here. So he has to go with, you know, okay, I've tried stopping him. He's talked to somebody in senior management that she doesn't understand what he's saying in English. Like, we just got to get rid of this one situation here. But the again, for me, there has to be a check and a balance that stops this guy. Like, he's walking along, he's talking to himself, he's filming himself. You know, the idea that this dude, you know, is like part of the crew or the team with no ID, it's like a huge fucking risk. And again, he just gets through.
So he just let me go.
You speak English? Yes. Cool. What's your name?
Like Eugene, you know.
Eugene. Have you had a few drinks? Vodka?
No, it's wine.
Wine. You're on the wine.
We finished all vodka and we finished all whiskey.
And now you're on the wine. Nice to meet you, Simon.
Yeah.
Number one.
That guy's a legend, fair play. Like, I'd have had a drink with that cunt immediately. We start on the wine, we finish on the vodka. Oh, the whiskey. Yep, good man. My kind of boy. My kind of boy.
We don't have, we're just waiting.
Now, I don't even know what these other two dudes are doing.
We're going to go from another elevator to this hotel.
Okay, cool.
Like people are just wandering around and trying doors. Like, this is ridiculous.
That's the place, right?
Yeah, this is the place. Cheers. Thank you very much for your help, mate.
This is the press room.
Now we are
So he's gained access to the press room. That's where all of the players are brought up. If you saw that backdropped area with the Astralis logos and everything, it's clear that the press denomination at this event was VIP. Happens sometimes. I've had VIP passes, I've had press passes. Sometimes they're separate. Sometimes they just give press a VIP pass, and you have all the same levels of access as the VIP would, which, spoiler, you don't want your journalists having that because they might see shit you don't want them to report on. So don't make journalists VIPs. Make me a VIP because I am a VIP. But your average journalist, you know, I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT journalist. You make me a VIP. But your average common or garden journalist, you don't make that. You know, come on. Let's be real about it. So, hey, I'm just being real about it. I'm just being real about it. I'm the fucking GOAT. I get VIP. I've earned that. 15 years. Come on. So, but yeah, don't give journalists VIP bans. Like, real talk. Joking aside, don't give journalists VIP bans. But he's got into the press area now. So now there's a risk. This guy could have fucking posed as a journalist. He could have been doing interviews with players, asking them like crazy questions. Could attack, you know, he might have had a beef with a journalist. Could be attacking him. He could steal equipment. And literally, you know, you can see what the levels of security are in the press room. No one's watching that. He could have walked in, took people's laptops, took people's cameras. Could have just walked out. No problem. Right? So, you know, this isn't good. And obviously, he's got no interest in sitting in the press room. And he says there, fucking hell, boy, he's been in proper deep now, like.
happy days. Look what this says. Press refreshments.
Just going to help myself with some food. No one gives a fuck.
And fed very well. I'm going to go and check this arena out.
I also do want to say, like, credit to the Blast. It's good you give him press refreshments. I want to say this because we don't get that at most events. They didn't even do it at LA. I think someone had to complain about it. So fair play, fair play.
Excuse me. I'm getting lost. Where's the arena? Like,
Come with me.
You go in that way.
Right.
Cool.
Ah, there it is.
You were so close.
I know, I just couldn't find it.
Yeah.
This looks crazy. I'm just going to keep walking to the front. This is crazy. Look how big the arena is. And they're just playing games on there.
Bit of dubstep for y'all. Oh yeah, he knows fuck all about esports.
Which Ty says only pay for what you need with Liberty Mutual. Good call.
Does your battery deliver
Oh,
extra
God.
life or extra power?
Extra life. Extra power. Extra life.
Why is everyone an incel in these adverts? What the fuck is going on now?
Right, let's get out of here. That was mad. All the Russians going crazy. Right, how do I get myself out of here?
Goodbye.
Thank you, bye. And I am out. I tell you what.
And there you go. Now, what's like as I said, what's crazy about this is he didn't even try and get into the areas because I guess he didn't know what the fuck was going on. Didn't try and get into he probably didn't know about commentary areas. Probably didn't know about that, right? Because he didn't know what it was. But he, by the looks of it, could have probably got in with the talent. Could have certainly got in with the players because obviously he's in the press area where they bring players to, because that's how it works at Blast events. They literally just bring them after games to do interviews, provided they're not going straight into another game. So he could have definitely gotten in with the talent, could have definitely got access to players. And listen, this guy's a funny dude. I'm guessing there's a lot of people who probably didn't know who he was, like me, might be following his shit. From this point onwards, you know, like I say, he's called Simon Wilson. Seems to be just a British guy who just goes abroad and goes around the world and just tries to blag stuff and sees how far you can get. I know I've had a look at some of his other videos, like how far you can get on, like, you know, five pounds and stuff like that. So fair play to him, but it raises a question, doesn't it, guys? It really does. Now, first of all, you're not going to hear the Blast make a statement about this because the Blast don't. The Blast just don't make statements. They never get ahead of any story. They don't make the content for like bad things. They just stay out there. This was on the front page of Reddit, so it wasn't a secret. It wasn't like something I just got sent. Although multiple people did send this to me. Thanks, by the way, if you were one of those people. I think it got sent to me and Thorin quite a lot because Thorin even sent it to me and said, "Have you seen the state on this?" But you have to understand, right? I know I get called paranoid, right? I know I do get called fucking paranoid quite a bit. You know, as I've said, I don't like going to events. You know, so I understand why you might think I'm paranoid. But the point is, I'm not paranoid. The reality is, this couldn't have happened at E-League. This couldn't have happened at E-League. This would be physically impossible, right? What would have happened would have been they would have tried to get in. Our armed guards would have said, "Where's your pass?" They would have said, "I don't have one." They would have said, if he'd been trying to do it in the Atlanta studio and he'd gone, "But I work with the crew," they would have held him there while they called somebody to come and basically say whether or not he works for them. And if they then turned out that he was lying and he couldn't provide credentials, they would call the police. That's how it would happen. So it seems pretty fucking crazy to me that this can happen at any event. Now, look, not everyone has armed guards. Obviously, it's a TV studio. There's celebrities. There's people way more important than me there, obviously. You know, you're not going to let somebody have access when our studio was right next to inside the NBA. You know, but the reality is it was like that for everyone at E-League. So when you see these esports events and you see basically something like this happening, this isn't just unique to the Blast. The Blast should absolutely make a statement about it and say that the security standards fell well below what they used to and what they aspire to for events. But this is all esports events are like this. Like, you have to understand that. In many ways, that wasn't even the worst I've seen. Because at least it had a metal detector. At least it had a bag scan. 90% of esports events I've been to don't have that. And unfortunately, we do exist in a time. Look, I already just told you an anecdote today about a crazy fucking Romanian journalist who said if he ever met face to face with Anders, he would kill him, and meant it. You know, so it's like you've got to be super careful about who you're letting have access to your events, and you can't do background checks. You know, you don't know, but you've got to at least make sure that they're not armed, they're not in areas they're not supposed to be. These are just basic things. We had the one at the start of the year. In LA, what was it called again? The I by Power one, I think it was, where literally a guy called it, said he was taking a gun in, and they had to kick everybody out, set up bag scans and metal detectors, and then let everybody back in. Yeah, the I by Power Masters. Dust was there. Don't worry, Dust. No one's gonna get you, mate. No one's gonna put you out your misery. I love you, little buddy. Love you. That's such a dark, horrible joke, isn't it? I'm sorry, mate. But you know, but you have to understand, like, TwitchCon's happening. What, like tomorrow? I told you about the time when, and it's all squared now, and I don't want to bring it up. But you know, there were people like talking about guns and shooting me and stuff. I had a bunch of threats. I mean, I had a bunch of threats, not just from the thing you might remember I talked about. Twitch's official response was, maybe you shouldn't go. Okay, yeah, I suppose, mate. Seems reasonable to me that if people are threatening to kill me, I should be the one that has to duck out and not attend, like. So, But honestly, this points to a problem that we have in esports and in general. And I'd really like the Blast to put a statement out and say it's not going to happen again. That's not me picking on the Blast. I hope people don't think it's like, haha, you hate the Blast, you'll do anything about the Blast. That's pretty serious, dude. Like, he's a YouTuber having fun. Next time it ain't. You know, I don't want the worst to happen, but we flirt with it every time. And with more and more people attending these events, you have a duty of care to everybody who attends that it should be a safe, fun environment. And if people can gain access, if people are walking into stadiums without metal detectors, things that would never fly at a concert, you know, outside of a dive bar, you know, you got to be super careful. You got to think about what's going on politically. You have to think about, unfortunately, there's a lot of disturbed people gravitate towards internet cultures, internet subcultures, esports being one of them. I encounter it quite a lot where it's very clear to me people are objectively unwell and believe things that aren't true and want to hurt me as a result of that. So, and that's just me. You multiply, like, how could anybody hate lovable Anders? But people find a way. And it's usually predicated on something completely false that they've imagined. So I think the Blast need to put a statement out about this, say it's not going to happen again. I think that's the bare minimum. I think this video is unbelievably damning. It's been seen by a lot of people as well. You know, like, if I was a player and I saw that, I'm getting the CSPPA to call them up and being like, listen, I know we got these contracts in place, but I don't feel comfortable. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine if it was like the situation? I mean, well, again, this I don't know if did this get ever released publicly. I hope I'm not talking out of school. I think I've even got the email somewhere. But you know when Hiko went to that Brazilian event and he got in there was all that crazy shit where he had to have a bodyguard. Well, all players were told not to leave. This was an official email by ESL. They were all told, yeah, that bit was public. It's this bit. I don't know if it was public. All players were told by email, do not leave your hotel after dark because you'll probably get attacked because we're in a pretty rough neighborhood. So they just got told, don't leave the hotel. And I think I got the email for it somewhere. But it got sent out to... Was that out there as well, was it? Okay, cool. Yeah. They basically got told, like, you just can't. And I talked to one player, And it might have been in an interview, so it might be this. Maybe is why it's public. It's only public on my channels, but not well known. But like basically, there was like people banging on the doors, like saying like, "Oh, it's an emergency. You've got to come out. You've got to come out." And it was like people in the hotel trying to rob other people in the hotel by getting that. They were like posing as like, "Oh, there's an emergency with hotel security," but they were just robbers and thieves and stuff like that. So we play it fast and loose in esports, guys. And somebody like me, somebody who's been called the fucking neo-Nazi, somebody who has fan bases that fucking want to kill him, like Brazilians, like fucking FGC members, like FaZe fans. You take your pick at this point. They probably got about 20 fan bases that would all line up to fucking cut my throat. But I can't. That's why I don't go to events. That's why. Because he could have been a nutcase. His video could have been, watch me kill Richard Lewis. And he's just walked in, hasn't he? He's just walked into the green room. So I'm just saying. Can I look at your donation? Yeah, I suppose. We're wrapping up the stream now. Yeah, I'm not worried about the Overwatch fans because they're all like I can just hurt them with insults.
You do all the voice changer stuff you did during the NMC. Thanks for all the content, Rich. Much love.
Yeah, like if Overwatch fans try and beat me up, I just go, I don't know, trying to stay within the lines here. What would it be? I don't know. I can't. I won't even risk it. Fuck it. But anyway, you just hurt them with bad language, don't you? You just hurt them. You just hurt their feelings.
Cheers.
Trace is not really gay. There you go. Trace is not a lesbian. No, you're wrong. You take that back.
Happy days.
I read the comics. You take it back. That's it. Like no Overwatch fan killing me. Like I'm okay with that.